Hello everyone, we are from Group 24. We'd like to introduce to you our program, which is Bookshop Management System.
Alright, hi everyone and welcome to our presentation today. Let me start introduce you about our bookshop. We have just opened a bookshop and having some problems about wanting to store the purchased books data by customers and also to keep the existing book storage. So we create a program that can make it easier to store data on books purchased by customers. In this way, we do not need a lot of paperwork to write the data collected just like the old school style. We only need one list that can store the data for future usage. So let's move to Anis.
Manual system usually takes time because reporting and checking data can be time consuming. Furthermore, it also uses a lot of paperwork as to keep the details secure and takes more physical space to keep track of paper documents. Next, manual systems will put pressure on people to be collecting all details of their work at all times because we need to update for the quantities of book in the manual is more difficult. And lastly, with manual systems, the level of service is dependent on individuals and it can be all too easy to accidentally switch details, as a large amount of data books that store in manual system will have an issue to maintain the book's details. Next. So in our program, there are 4 features that user can do. Firstly, adding books. This will allow user to prompt book into the file.txt. Second, display books. User can display books from current list of books. Third, edit book. It will allow the user to edit the name or title of the book if the book has mistaken the input. And lastly, user also can delete the book from the file.txt if the book has outdated. Okay, so for description, we have included 4 libraries, which are IOStream, FStream, IOManip, and String. For IOStream library, it allows us to use cout and cin. For FStream, it can create file that does not exist and put all the information into the file. And for IOManip library, this will make our output neatly. And lastly, String. String is used for the name of books, author, and code. In parameter, we only use 3 parameters, which are integer, string, and character. And for function, we have we have 6 functions, which are add, display, edit, delete, file, and open. In main function, we use switch cases to call all the functions. For example, if the user enter number 1, then it will call add function. Then if user input number 2, it will call display function. And the same goes with case number 3 and case number 4. In open function, we call the function at the earlier line, which is below system class, which we need the computer to open the file first, and then we close the file using file function. So all our input will be saved into the txt file.
Alright, so let's move to the next slide, which is array. Here we have the initialization of elements. So look at the first, second line and third line. Char book and char author. Both declarations set aside 70 character locations for an array, name, book, and author. And for the fourth line, which is char code, this declaration set aside 5 character locations for an array, name, code. And we have during the process of preparing the code, we encountered some problems that were difficult to correct them. So first, the output file stores only one list of books. Second, our program only accepts 500 lines only, and too many word strings will change the structure of the box provided. Alright, now look at on the screen. We have faced our coding line. It creates a file if the file does not exist. This coding will create file, write information to file, and also read information from file. As you can see on the screen, the file that stores the input on the display one information of books. It cannot store the other books if we store more than one. Next, it limit for 500 lines only. Our program only accepts 500 lines only. That one of the weakness of our program. And storing books in a larger number requires much more complicated code. Therefore, this will limit customers to entering book information. And lastly, our weakness is too many word streams will change the structure of the ports provided. So this will confusing the user to read the input that has been entered. But it still managed to separate each part. So to conclude this, the program is sufficient for small bookshop only, but not for a large bookshop with many customers. It is quite inefficient and requires further development. Let's take an example. One of the famous bookshop that we all know is established in January 1984, which is popular book company Senderan Berhad has become a household name in Malaysia and has now grown to more than 97 stores nationwide. So this illustrates that their bookstore necessarily needs a very efficient program and can store a lot of information that are created by a professional developer program. So before I end this presentation, let's take a look on our coding that we run by Anis. So Anis, let's show our coding.
Let's go.